Hello everyone. Well, look what we've got today, a Panasonic television. I don't think so. It's not even a Panasonic vacuum cleaner. I've had this for a few months, I think. And I just got it and I shoved it in my garage because I didn't have time to open it. So if there's anything wrong with this, I think this is a Hoover shampoo polisher. If there's anything wrong with it, I'll have really no comeback with the seller. Not after all this time. Right, well, they've certainly packed it well, I must say. Lots of nice packaging there. Right, yes. I don't know if that's got anything in it, no. Right, so this is I think it's a 60s model Hoover shampoo polisher. So we have they're not too bad condition, two shampoo brushes and two scrubbing brushes, a bit softer than the more modern ones I've got. And the different colours, look. I wonder if that's for a reason. One might have to go on a particular spindle perhaps. But yes, they're for scrubbing hard floors and not for the carpets. We have a handle. It's in fairly good condition. There's a loop to hang up your shampoo polisher in your scullery or pantry. That's the trigger for the shampoo. It also acts as the upper cord storage hook. Oh, and look, that's nice to see. In pretty good condition as well. And yes, this is still made in France. So there must have been a Hoover factory in France for quite some years. I know the Hoover portable, the suitcase shaped Hoover cleaner, was made in France, as well as I think the convertible / Dialomatic are Hoover Limited, Perivale, Greenford, Middlesex. Now converted, the Hoover factory in Perivale, because it's a listed building, they couldn't knock it down, so it was used for offices for a bit, and then the back of it was converted into a Tesco supermarket. But now the front part is actually apartments. You can actually buy an apartment in the Hoover building in Perivale, Greenford, Middlesex. So here we have, I've seen this in a blue colour as well. This is more standard colour, the green. And we'll have a look at that a bit closer. Now these I think are real lamb's wool. The later ones were synthetic. I'm not sure if those have even been used. No, they just smell old, but they don't smell like they've been used to polish anything. And we've also, in the same bag, got quite a few of the little fitments that attach. How you use this, you attach the flat pads to the scrubbing brushes. They go on top and they clip into place using one of these little clips. Also, we have got, and they are used, these sort of the scrubbing pads, and these are definitely used, felt polishing pads, I think they are. But we've got another pack of unused. Oh, how many have we got? One, two, we've got 4. They look more unused, although they don't look quite the same. Oh, that's it, there's 2 like that. Slightly different thicknesses. Whether they were both genuine, I don't know, but I think they're for applying the polish, or you can apply the polish using the scrubbing brushes and buff it. There were several different stages you could go through with the shampoo polisher, because this is a shampooer, so it shampoos carpets and polishes and scrubs hard floors too. Well, I think that's everything out of the big box. Right, let's have a look at the shampooer itself. Well, I've assembled the handle and given this Hoover shampoo polisher a little bit of a polish. Not much of one. It's in pretty good shape. It's not perfect, but it's an old appliance. Not sure how we're going to date this. Somebody in the comments section might be able to date it exactly when we have a look at the rating plate, but I'm going to say it is probably from the 60s. It's not as early as 50s. They were available in the 50s, or at least the polisher scrubber was, but it was a different shape at the bottom, more sort of square shaped than this curvier shape that we've come to know. This is what I would say is the classic Hoover shampoo polisher shape. So here's the base of the machine. Nice big Hoover roundel here and made in France sticker, and you've got a bumper that follows the full circumference of the base, because obviously this will bump into things when you're using it because of the way it works with the brushes counter-rotating. It sort of glides around and it will occasionally bump into things. I used to have one of these obviously back in the day, my pre-cull days. The one I had was this model, but this is in better condition, and I believe I had to paint. This is a little metal part. This one's in very good shape, but the one I had, it had all rusted. So I remember painting it, but it didn't quite match. The paint was slightly whiter. This is more of an off-white. So it's nice to have another one. Around the back, we've got two wheels, and they're not used when you're actually using the machine because they don't actually touch the floor. You only use the wheels to actually wheel the appliance to the room, although you can carry it's very light. You've got the handle release that you press to lower the handle, and it does go pretty low down as well, more or less flat. There's no on-off switch. What happens with this machine when you actually lower the handle, I just heard a slight click, there's a little switch inside, so it automatically turns on when you put it into that position. This is the solution tube that takes either the carpet shampoo or the scrubbing solution to the brushes, and it's got two different positions. At the moment the tube is in the carpet position, so this is where you'd have it when you're using it as a carpet shampooer, but when you're using it to scrub hard floors, you just take out the tube and you'd place it into there. Later models didn't do that. I've got a few of the later models, including one of the very last models, still made in France, in white and black. They just had the single one, so you didn't have the option of moving it into the floor position. So that's that. Let's have a look on the underside. It's obviously showing some signs of use, but that's not too bad. And it's a metal chassis or base plate on this. Obviously the later models that were in the 80s and into the 90s, this machine was still being sold and made. They changed this to plastic, but it all seems in very good shape. These two holes here, this little channel, this is where the actual solution comes down and onto the brushes, and this can all be taken apart to give it a good clean. Let's have a closer look at this rating plate here. So this is the Hoover model 5464 electric shampoo polisher, serial number 5464 309 052 38 or 9. It's very hard to see. 40 to 60 hertz, 180 watts, 240 volts. Trademark of Hoover Limited, made in France by S.A. Hoover. This is the back of the Hoover shampoo polisher, and at the bottom there's the lower hook for the cord storage, and in the middle of the tank at the back there is another bottle, and it's got a spring here. It's a spring loaded bottle, so it's easier to remove. Now this is for putting in wax based polishes. Now it doesn't have a hole in it. It doesn't actually distribute the polish through the tube onto the brushes. What you do with this, you fill it with your own polish, and then you open it up and you basically squeeze it and squirt the polish onto the floor, and then you go over it with the shampoo polisher. using the appropriate brushes or pads. Sometimes this wax bottle is missing if you buy one of these second-hand. Obviously eBay is the best place if you want to look for one of those, and I'm not sure if we can quite see it at the bottom, but there is the Hoover logo embossed just there, so that fits back in. This is the main detergent tank to hold the shampoo or your scrubbing solution. To remove the tank, you've got this little collar at the top. You just push that up and you can release the tank, and there is a fill level. Although it's not see-through and there's no see-through panel, it is slightly, ever so slightly translucent, but you need to hold it up to bright light to see, but you can roughly judge if you look through to see the fill level. It won't harm anything to fill it a bit more, because this machine doesn't suck up the dirty water. All it's going to do when you're scrubbing a floor, it's just going to apply the scrubbing solution. The brushes will agitate it in, but then you need to mop up the dirty water, or if you had a wet dry vac, you could have used one of those. But I don't think wet dry vacs were really very prevalent when this machine was available. So there it is, and it's got a little valve at the bottom that opens and closes, and that corresponds when you actually squeeze the release trigger on the handle. That will open and allow shampoo solution to flow into the tube here via a little hole there. So if you've got one of these and it's not distributing the shampoo, you could check the little hole first. Make sure that that is not blocked. This would have come partly disassembled. Well, it will come, both the handle pieces would have been separate, I would have thought. When this was shipped to me, obviously they'd only took off the upper handle, but I have a feeling this would have actually been boxed up with the lower handle off as well. But I'm not sure, because I've never never had the fortune of unboxing a brand new unused one of these. Only some of the later models I've actually unboxed brand new in the box. Nothing as old as this. It's got a nice cable, which I'm assuming is original. It's in very good condition. Now the plug looks quite modern, but it's, for a 13 amp plug, it's quite thick. But it is an old brand. It is a Crabtree. And I expect it's made, yes, it actually says made in England. It doesn't even say UK, it says made in England. But I think it is newer than the actual appliance, because it has insulated live and neutral pins. You can see there. So it isn't actually really age appropriate. I'm going to leave it on. It's old, but it's not the original plug. I wouldn't have thought that was fitted when the previous owners had this machine. Well, it's time for the initial switch on. I'm going to play it safe and switch it on from the wall socket. Obviously I've had to put it in the lower position, otherwise it won't turn on if I was to leave it upright. It needs to be in either this position or the operating position for the motor to work. So the switch is on at the cleaner. Okay, let's switch it on at my wall socket, and fingers crossed everything works as it should. Yes, I think that sounds like it should sound. Obviously it's not going to make much noise with the low wattage motor. So now we can we'll pop on the shampoo brushes, and they should just push on. That's it, until they click. That's it, so they're on, and they will counter rotate. In fact, I'll show you that happening. If I switch it on again. And to remove them, I think you just have to pull them up. I've just realised what those arrows are for. I don't know if you can quite pick up on camera, but there are 2 arrows on each of these brushes. That's actually where you put your fingers in order to pull the brush off. And when we want to attach the scrubbing brushes, they fit on in a similar way, like that. So now they can be used to scrub your floors, and of course we can fit, I think these are waxing pads, I think these are described as. So this is how we fit these. I need to get some of these little clips. So basically that's how you use these flat pads. They sit on top of these scrubbing brushes and they're used to apply the polish. I'll just check the instruction book actually, because it should tell me in the instructions the official names. It does, look. It says here. So waxing and cleaning pads are the green ones, and then the buffing pads are the ones that are the lamb's wool. They're for highly polished furniture surfaces, not for hard floors. So if you've got like a mahogany dining table, that's what you'd use to polish that up. Now all-purpose brushes, which are the ones fitted, they're suitable for both polishing and scrubbing. Then of course the shampoo heads and the felt pads that are fitted. These are the felt polishing pads for producing a final high gloss on floor surfaces. They are reversible. I thought I'd show you how this cleaner moves across the carpet with these shampoo brushes attached. I'm not going to apply any shampoo in this video. I might save that for another video and also show you how it scrubs hard floors. I may even put the lamb's wool polishing pads on and have a go at my kitchen table. But let's just see, without applying the shampoo, how it moves across the carpet. Well, that's the end of my video on this wonderful Hoover shampoo polisher model 5464. Another example of how they used to make things back in the day, still working after all these years. As I said, I think this probably dates from the 60s, maybe the early 70s, but yeah, it's an old machine, the motor still works, and I'm sure when I get round to using it, it will shampoo my carpets and scrub and polish my floors just like a modern machine. If you have any comments or questions about this vintage Hoover shampoo polisher, please comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So until the next time, I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.